Welcome back. I just completed a 1,200-mile drive from Fayetteville, North Carolina, down to Orlando, Florida over the weekend. We went down, we made a family stop in Florence, South Carolina, and then we made a fuel up stop in Poole, Georgia, and then we made a stop in Daytona, Florida, before heading down to Orlando. The stop in Florence was at a Buc-ee's. I used a Mercedes Charger. It went great, but it was expensive. I think it was 56 cents per kilowatt hour, which is at least 10 to 15 cents more than I was paying for it a year ago at the same place. Then we went to Poole, where I used an Electrify America place I've used a few times. That charge up was fine and had no issues whatsoever. And it was, again, roughly 56 cents per kilowatt hour for that fill up. And then we went down to Daytona, and I filled up there at another Buc-ee's where I, again, used the Mercedes Chargers, and it worked fine. And then I went down to Orlando. After being there for a couple of days, I charged up in the morning because between 11 o'clock at night and 8 o'clock in the morning, the rates are almost half. It was like 28 cents a kilowatt hour instead of the usual 50 plus cents per kilowatt hour. And so I charged up there, but I had an unusual experience there where typically I pull up, I select the charging station, I plug in, and it just works. At that station at the mall in Orlando, it didn't work. So fortunately, I've got a Tesla account. So I went to my Tesla app, I logged in there, and I told the Tesla app what charger to use, and then it worked flawlessly. And the Tesla chargers are never as full as the Electrify America chargers are. And again, they work well, and it was a great stop. Filled up as much as I needed. And then on the way home, we stopped off at Daytona. We did a quick fill up there. We went from there to Pooler in Georgia. And there I had what is becoming a cliche stop at the Electrify America place. There were 6 cars in their spots, and so I was having to wait because there were only 6 stations and 6 cars. And then a car started backing out of their spot, so I moved so I could back into it where I would get my charger right next to the port, and the guy kept backing up and backing up and backing up till he almost hit me. And so I pulled over a little bit and I said, "What's going on?" Turns out there were 6 cars there, but the first 2 stations weren't working. And so no one was charging there. Those 2 cars were literally just waiting for one of the other 4s to open up, which meant I'd be there probably for half an hour before I could charge, and I wasn't going to have it. I pulled out my charging station map here on my car. My car said there was a Tesla station 7/10 of a mile away. I went there, and everything worked as it's supposed to. I backed into a spot. And of course, at a Tesla charging station, they expect you have your charging port on the rear left side, not the rear right side. So I literally ended up taking 2 spots to charge. And fortunately, we didn't have to fill up all the spots. And so no one was inconvenienced by my charger not being on the right spot and their cables being too short. But I pulled in. I told my Mercedes what station I was using, plugged in, and it worked perfectly. So no issues there. And then from Pooler, we just drove straight home, and I made it all the way home without having to fill up after that. So a good 500-mile drive, stopped twice. I looked at my mileage, and I got 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour, which, if it works out to about an average, is just under 340 miles on a full tank. And that's still where they advertise it to be. So it's a great trip overall. The time we had in Orlando was fun. And I wanted to share with you my expenses as well as the experience of charging up. Every station I went to charged beautifully, went up to my full 200 kilowatts max power, and then tapered off. And the only place I had a problem was in Pooler, which is unusual because that was usually reliable, where 2 of the stations were down. On that, it was beautiful. And to do a comparison, my wife paid $256 in gas to get from here, there, and back. And I paid $171, which is easily double what I've ever had to pay to make this trip. So it's becoming more expensive as they're realizing they need to raise rates to meet their budgetary requirements. And so that becomes a decision factor. It's cheaper, but how much cheaper is it really? So until we talk next month. But there is one more thing. About a week after I took this trip, I had to go visit my daughter for my granddaughter's 9th birthday. And I was about a 380-mile trip, so I knew I'd have to recharge on the way home. So I went ahead and signed up for Electrify America's Pass Plus program because they had 1 month for free. And when I charged up, I had to start the charging through Electrify America's app to get their discount, or at least that's the way they advertise it, so I did it that way. I don't know if I would have just plugged in if it would have given me the discount anyway, so I didn't try it. But I did the sign up through the app. It went smoothly. It was an easy thing to do. And I charged up, and I got a 36-cent per kilowatt hour rate. Now that compares to the 50 to 54-cent kilowatt hour rates I got on my longer trip the week before. So on a 55 kilowatt charge up, which is a standard charge up, I would have saved $11 had I used that Pass Plus on my trip, which means if you are going to be charging on any kind of basis, which is really more than once a month, the Pass Plus program really seems to be a great plan. I usually don't charge up that often, so I'll probably use this 1 month and at least pause it until I do my next trips, which will be in February, March. But I'm here to let you know they have a Pass Plus program. They give you the first month free with Electrify America. And if you're going to use them, it's a great savings. And so it's something to think about. So now, for real, until I talk again next time, you're making a great day.